Okay, well, welcome back and thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I'm doing a Q&A today. I asked people over on my Instagram to ask me questions and I'm going to answer them again today. So first question was, what sparks my creative process? What influences my creative process? And I was very long-winded the last time, so maybe I can keep it short. I have always been inspired by color. Very simple, you would say. But when I'm around people in a new situation, family, it doesn't matter. I see extra colors. I immediately take the engagement that I'm having and my head starts kind of creating a way of saving it. I have a photographic memory, so it does save that way, but I also save in kind of the colors that I'm feeling or seeing. So since I was little, it would be like those colors were coloring with me in a coloring book. I would be really happy to see these colors if I was outside playing in the tree, in the grass. If our family went down to the river, I would just, that joy and excitement had an expression in a color form for me, and I would go home and color pictures and make pictures, and even now as an adult, that's pretty much the same way I'm doing. It's my life is the creative spark, and I am using my artwork like a journal. Specifically, I'm using my paintings at this point like I'm journaling. That's how I didn't think about it when I was a kid. I was just doing it, but as I look back, I had notebooks of pages that I colored, and so now at this point as an adult, I have canvases filled with artwork that mean the same things to me. Even dreaming, when I dream, I can wake up with this inspiration of these dreams that I had and the colors that I saw and the people I interacted with, and I want to create a piece of artwork because of that. So to keep that simple, that's what I would say. Is what is my favorite or least favorite color and why? And there is no direct answer for this one. Of course I love all the colors. I lean towards the yellows and golds. I work a lot with the magentas. I love maroons. I guess the colors you don't see too often in my artwork is a lot of red and black. It's a very specific time and mood, I feel like, is when those kind of erupt into my artwork or show up, appear. I love working with browns, neutrals, and coming back and adding some very bright pop of colors, greens, turquoise. So of course I would pick all of the colors. And I wouldn't say that just because I don't use the black and red in my artwork that they're my least favorite, but I use them to mix other colors, so to get deeper purples or deeper oranges. So I use them as a base. So I still use all of them, but there's only a handful of paintings that actually have black, and there's no exact favorite or least favorite. But when I think about colors, there's some that come straight to my head first. Do I wait for inspiration or do I just go for it? I always just go for it because it's just part of who I am, but I've gotten a little bit better at executing, so waiting for it. So before I used to do 3, 5, 8 paintings at a time, and they all represent a mood, a time, place, a dream. And as I've gotten a little more focused on what colors represent and communication that I'm trying to have with the color, I've gotten a little more wait for it type of motivation. So I have an archive of series, collections, paintings that are just kind of solo in my head that I will do. So I am waiting for it as I am going forward with this series right now, which is 17 pieces. So right now, if I had my way, I'd have, easily off the top of my head, I'd have about 25 pieces going right now. I don't have the space to go for 25 pieces right now. But if I was really just going for it the way that I want to go for it, it'd be about 25 pieces right now. And I do space. I kind of am having to wait for it. But being an artist and making myself into a business, because this is something I want to do for the rest of my life, I also want to make sure I have a roof over my head, and food and all of the, bare essentials to get through life. And so I'm having to make myself into a business. And part of that, of becoming a business, there is a lot of weight in that, and having to not, there's a lot of weight in that. So you have to, in order for me right now to make both my artist world and who I am world, to mix with this business aspect, I'm having to also wait for it now. So it's a loaded question with a very loaded answer, and I hope that kind of answers some of it. Is that I'm very much go for it. If I had a large enough space, I would probably be producing everything that I saw in my head. But right now I'm having to kind of wait for it and do it one step at a time and complete one series at a time. And and that's just kind of where I am right now. If I couldn't paint, what medium would I use to express myself? I guess my first thought is, why can't I paint? There's so many ways that I can paint, but I've always done makeup and costuming. It's kind of family tradition. We're all into it. I did it for a long period of time, making costumes for different performers and makeup, and I sold costumes for a while. So I always kind of leaned to that way, but there are a few other things that I really kind of not wish I would have done. I have plenty of life to live, so to say. And apparently I like the so to say sayings. I've said that like 900 times, but I enjoy ceramics. When I first saw this question, it kind of took me back to doing pottery. I enjoyed that. The only thing I didn't enjoy, I don't like my hands being dried out. It's a really bad pet peeve, and nothing that stops me, like I should be doing this, but because my hands get too dry, I don't do it. But I enjoy pottery a lot, ceramics. I also enjoy baking, like creating unique little treats. Something I end up doing for my family a lot is making little desserts or treats as gifts around the holiday season or birthdays or something around celebration time. I will definitely get a little pastry bags out and start writing names and chocolates for family and whatnot. So I guess I get to dabble in those, but it's nothing that I'm like, this is what I'm going to do for my career. But it's not the same way as when I wake up. I go to sleep thinking about painting, I wake up thinking about painting, I'm painting in my dreams. So I guess if there came a chance where I couldn't paint anymore, maybe this would be the same things. But I'm just in my head, I'm like, if I'm able to do those things, I'm able to paint. So, but I understand the question, and those would probably be the other areas that I would be interested in doing. How does being a mother and a wife influence my work? So I'd say it got a lot more motivating, the business aspect of it becoming a business. um, on both spectrums. First, it usually comes down to me as a person, like what I want to do, who am I, and how do I want to represent myself. And I'm trying to think about this and how it affects me as a wife and mother, because my kid looks up to me so much, and everything that I'm doing, I have so much of his artwork that reflects my artwork. So I know that I'm inspiring him and that I am influencing him. And so I feel that me being an artist also helped me become more of the business side of, yeah, it came with age, motherhood, where I wanted to make sure that I was showing him how it can be done. I mean, a lot of times, even though I was given the right of way to be who I am, a lot of people, when you tell them that you're going to be an artist, and sometimes it is the closest people to you, you know, being a wife or however it be, it's a very abstract. It's a very abstract kind of career. I wasn't surrounded by artists growing up by any means, even though we all very artful. I couldn't say that I was surrounded by a professional artist in my life. I definitely had a lot of entrepreneurship in my life and people that had started their own businesses. So I think that's why I picked up the business side so quickly. Being an artist, I would get kind of like good luck feedback, and I'm gonna take the good luck, and I still need it to this day. So it motivates me to make sure that I'm being who I am and I'm representing who I am every moment, every day. So when even now doing these video series, this is now part of my job as being an artist. And in order for my husband to take me serious, then I need to follow through with what I'm doing. And in order for me to be the leader I need to be for my child, I need to follow through with what I'm doing. And in order for me to make sure that I am being fulfilled in what I'm doing, I need to really look at what I'm doing and making sure that this represents me to the fullest of who I am. And sometimes I'm having to prune. I'll try things, but I'll nip it off. And sometimes my husband really likes certain things that I stopped doing, and he wants to know why I stopped. And it didn't represent me the way that I want to be represented. And I have to be confident and secure enough in my decision to be able to be grounded in that decision. And the same thing with my child. If he sees me like go for something but change my mind, he's gonna, why did you stop doing that? And I have to again be grounded within myself and say I didn't feel like that was satisfying me to the fullest, and that's why I made that choice. But here it is what satisfies me as an artist, and these are the things I'm most focused on. So they kind of give me a little bit of the background and motivation to make sure that I am accountability, so to say, I guess, because they are a reflection of me. Like they are my closest soundboard to me. So sometimes they question me more than other people question me, and it's nice to be questioned and to have a soundboard back of why I'm doing certain things. But also they also trigger the moods and emotions throughout my day too, so that goes into my artwork as well. And especially if my little guy pulls up a canvas right next to me, make sure that there's canvases around him and his artwork next to me. So there are certain pieces that I've kept because he made the exact piece, like colors. He blended his own colors to match my colors. So there are certain pieces I've kept just because he made a piece that looks just like it. And he's had his own shows at this point too. I don't really have an ending to that question other than those are kind of the questions I have when I get a question, when I get that question. To the next one, to the next question. Do I feel that my talent has a past life connection? Of course, immediately I say yes. In what regards, I am not quite sure, other than I really do like expressing myself. I feel like I'm a lot more introverted than I ever thought I was going to be, but I really like being a homebody and kind of to myself. But there's also this little fiery being within myself that like really likes speaking up, or there are opportunities where I'm like, I really wish I would have spoken up. Or I really love dressing up. I love costuming. I love theater and being theatric. And a lot of times I'm like, in a past life or in a future life, this must be like where I'm going or where I've been, because even though I have that, I still very much just kind of like, oh, you know, my personality out here is still very like chill. Even though I will take that little personality within myself and I'll make myself do certain things, my natural state isn't really that. I'm a little more low-key. I'm a secret comedian. I love making funnies. So I mean, I guess being very expressive. I'm still using my art to be very expressive, and I feel like I've been a very expressive person through the multiple lives that I've had. And so I feel like there ultimately is a connection, especially working with color. Color is a vibration. Energy is a vibration. So yes, the short answer is yes, I do. I feel like it does give me this platform to be very expressive, and I feel like I come from somewhere deep within that this life has been lived in a very that I've lived a very expressive life. So let's keep it this simple. Okay, let's see. Okay, so some of these go off into other like questions. I had a lot of different questions about just like general things I'll share. But this one I guess kind of sticks around more of the art a little bit still, is that what about art makes you geek out and fangirl? Which I giggled at this question. So how do I explain this? I can geek out over anything. I can fangirl over anything. Art to me is many spectrums. So theater, music, symphonies, violin will always win my heart. Happens to be connected to the heart. Meeting artists and having the opportunity to hear their inspiration behind artwork kind of makes me fangirl. Like I fangirl, so to say. Let's count how many times I say that. I geek out, I guess, getting to hear or see someone be in what I feel is their very pure state. Like you can tell that they are very comfortable in who they are. There's no extra whistles and bells to them, that they are very genuine, humbled. So this can be any, and I know I've never met past artists that I really like that are very famous artists. So sometimes that's just off of a very mood or connection that I'm having with that piece of artwork, or books that I've read on them, and just like, oh, I can relate. So anything I can relate or connect to fairly easily, or that gets me that gets a little metaphysical, a little more quantum about life. Those are kind of the things that I enjoy outside of or as well as the theater, And not to say that it doesn't get quantum or metaphysical in theater or music. That was just a way of wording. But those are the things that I really geek out over. Just seeing somebody really creating it and their freedom of who they are. I would say keep that one also simple. Let's get into these more other ones. Oh, I guess this one kind of goes around what I'm doing. I was asked, what do I use for effects on my videos? I use iMovie. It took me about 3 months. I've never filmed, I've never recorded, I've never produced, I've never done anything like that. I've had people, hey, hello again. I've had people out when I'm doing my live stream who really helped and gave me a lot of feedback on how to use audio, how to use cameras. So it was just like the universe kind of sending people this way. I am forever grateful for the people that have helped me, and some people I've never met or never will meet that have helped me develop the films, the videos that I'm creating. Other than that, it was a lot of reading, and I used iMovie. I watched a lot of videos and I did a lot of reading on that. All of the effects and words and things that come onto my videos and pop up are all within iMovie. I had the little icons that I use. I had to look up the icons that were free through Google that have like the transparent backgrounds to make them appear into my videos. But everything, there's no, I haven't gotten too deep. I feel like I could get a lot deeper into iMovie, and right now I feel like I'm just kind of using the basic layers of it. If you haven't used iMovie or don't use iMovie, for me, I definitely had a learning curve. I mean, I knew nothing about this world at all. I just knew that it would be a great place for me to challenge myself, and that's exactly what I did. And along the way, people kind of showed me tricks on how to make things look better and do better. I don't know if that's answering the question as far as what I use for effects for my video. I'm just using iMovie. I live stream from Twitch. I download the Twitch audio, I edited it in iMovie to my YouTube, and that's what I'm doing thus far. All of the features in iMovie to create my videos. And then if you're talking about my Instagram stories, I use the Instagram icons, but I also, it's called Hype Type. It's an app. I use Hype Type to like curate these little digital flyers on my Instagram stories. So, but that's about as deep as I've gotten as far as effects go. Next question. Let's see. Oh, if I'm stuck on an island and I could only have one food, would it be cereal or chips? I think I'm gonna go with chips, just because I can do sweets for a little bit of time, but I don't really, even though I like making sweets, I think I'm more of a savory person. I always think about sunflower seeds or pickles or something along this more savory aspect. So I'm thinking if I had to pick one food, being on an island for a long time, it'd probably be something savory. Yeah, and I guess I just don't eat cereal the way I used to before. Yeah, let's not make that one too hard. I'm pretty sure I would pick chips. What type of chips? I love a good kettle cooked chip. I love a good salt and vinegar type of chip. This is my thinking face, if you haven't noticed. A little eye contact here. I'm always having to think up here. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that one simple. And then Oh, so what star would I be? I love stars. I'm very. A lot of people will say that my artwork looks very planet-like. It's not intentional, but I am always talking about the moon. I am always staring off at the sky, day or night. The sky. I just feel very connected to the sky. I'm not quite sure why. Um, but I do. But it's never something that I look at and try to put into my artwork. But people will say that my artwork looks like planets. So I find that very interesting that I would never be thinking about a planet at all and how people can still see planets in my artwork, which is okay. To me, I just find it very divine-like. Um, I really love the Sirius star system. There's a lot that goes into that before. There's a lot that goes into that. There's actually 2 stars that's happening there. It's one of the brightest stars in the sky. I used to stare at it for a long time when I was a kid. Not intentionally, but ironically, my kid becomes part of that in my life story where he's influenced by it, but not intentionally influenced by it when it comes to his name. And then when I looked up my cosmic charts and my astrology charts, I'm actually led by the Sirius star, which I didn't know about until recently. So it's very divine to me from a child that, like the North Star is the brightest star in the north. The Sirius is actually the brightest star more south, and it rises to the east. And I love the sun coming up to the east. And there's just it just feels like magic to me. It's just, yeah, it's just magic. Another one I like is, although her story is not that great, their star system, I believe, is Cassiopeia, who was a Greek queen, and then she didn't say anything, very kind, and being very vague, just because I don't want to mess with people's names. But in the long run, she said something where she was sent to the stars to be there forever. This is in some Greek mythology. Sirius star system kind of follows more of the Egyptian, and I know other things are mixed in there as well. But I'm not trying to give a history lesson right now. I'm just trying to explain what type of star systems I like or would want to be. I pick her even though her story is not the greatest and why she's there, because part of why she was there is because she was considered to be vain. Which, I mean, again, not going too far into that. But if you look up the star system, there's so much magic that happens within it. It's interesting she was sent there for being so vain, but she ends up being a vain to a lot of star systems, such as, or constellations, such as the Milky Way. There's also within this constellation or the star system is the Heart Nebula, the Soul Nebula. Again, where I said 2 stars right now in this time are merging together that people being scientists thought were dead. There are so many rare formations that happen within this. There's so many beautiful colors that happen within this system that I made this a very long-winded answer again. But I think that's why. When I looked up what the name meant and then finding out that it was a person and why the person was sent there, I was like, dang, that's kind of rough, and immediately go into like reflection and just the way I process. But then when I look up the actual star system, I'm just like, man, this is really magical, and maybe that was a very divine way of being sent there, is to being able to have a reflection of how beautiful things around you can be. And I think that's why I connected to it the most, is because I love observing and appreciating the things around me. yeah, so I think that's why those are the two star systems that I would want to be or be part of or whatnot. And they are both, because it was very specific, they are both visible using binoculars or a telescope. Those are within eyesight, because it was asked if that because it was asked if they could still be seen. So those are the two that I would pick. Sirius and Cassiopeia. Um, Look them up. They're fun. You'll go down some rabbit holes. It's worth it. Yeah, I think that this was a good first Q&A for me. I appreciate everybody that reached out to me and asked me questions on Instagram. And I'm going to hop back into my series. I have 5 paintings left of my Overtone series, and it's working with the elements. I oftentimes will paint outside, so I think I'm going to try to move some of these glass canvases outside and see how that goes too, because I feel like if I'm painting the 5 elements that I need a little more nature. And even when I was painting these, I was like so eager to be outside, and now it's summer and I'm like hearing all these birds talking and I'm like, they're telling me to go outside. So I'm at least one of these next 5 pieces, you might find me outside. But thank you for whoever stuck around for this. I appreciate it. If you like what I'm doing, if you have any more questions, put it in the comment area below. If you related to anything, let me know. I love hearing feedback. I love hearing how we relate as people. If you want to see the next videos, ring the bell, subscribe, do all that fun stuff that lets you know that I'm here and that we are here to connect together. Thank you.